This afternoon, you're listening to the Todd LaBorwit Show, Real Estate Radio and Sound Broadcast Network, WRC 1260 AM. I'm your host, Todd LaBorwit. This segment is brought to you by Snow Goose Homes LLC, our preferred partner for when you need to sell or your home or land and have the cash in your bank account for as little as 5 business days. And with us in the studio now is Martir Hernandez. He's the owner of Capital Builders Group, Inc., and it's interesting. You got a great story behind you.
Thanks.
We were talking with Justin when he had you on, and in 2008, when the whole economy blew up, it was very hard for people to get work done, who to trust. There was a lot of hustlers that were out there, so to speak. And ever since the economy blew up, I know for myself, with my industry and the mortgage business being as hard as it is, that's when I went off on my own as well. And you went off on your own in 2008.
Correct. Well, prior to, I was part of a different group, and all started up in 2001. And then I had a partner up until 2008 when the home market crashed. And from then on, then I started Capital Builders Group. And soon after, I met Justin, which I believe had recently moved into the metro area and wanted it to start doing their home remodeling. And we came across through an ad that we had somewhere. And after we met, basically all started right there. And we did the first home, and that was the beginning. And even though the home market was pretty bad during those days, we decided that we started the business, and it's been good ever since.
But what I've heard about you is you're a man of your word. You always show up on time. And your reputation is what took you to the next level, and your good workmanship.
Right.
And that's hard to find.
I find in this industry it's an easy business to get into, although it's a very hard business to stay in business, since it's so much competition out there. So I think you have to do, basically, we do business in a shake of a hand. From we have a lot of repeat clients, and Justin was one of them. Well, he did his research when we first met, but then from then on, all we had to do was basically put a piece of paper and sketch out what had to be done and shake our hands and agree on prices and go from then on.
And everything worked out perfectly.
Yes.
And now you're really busy.
We stayed pretty busy. We're blessed to have enough work year-round, basically, because we're general contractors, so we do a lot of seasonal work, such as patios, crimp porches, and then on the wintertime, we do all the interior renovations, such as basements, kitchens, and things like that.
What's your favorite project?
Well, it's hard to say, but I really love what I do, and I enjoy. I do it from heart, put a lot of time into it, and it's hard to describe because every project is unique. You can do 10 bathrooms, and each one of them is going to have its own, thing there that will make it different than the rest. And but it's very, very interesting, and I have a lot of passion for what I do.
You're like the incredible. You have all the skills of a successful businessman. I mean, you got the passion, you got the integrity, you have the reputation. It's just, it's unbelievable. I love when people succeed based on doing the right thing. And ever since 2008, with the economy, it seems like the ones that do the right thing and have the good reputation and honor their word and live into their word are the ones that are succeeding today. And the ones that were the hustlers are disappearing.
Correct. I find it that if this is how you bring food to your table, you have to do it from heart, and you got to do it right, because we're here to stay, and I love what I do, and just the transformation that we do, and from projects is amazing, and that's the good thing about it, because you see the transformation by after when you got a bathroom and you put it back together. So that really makes me happy to see that I can help someone to do so.
Great. Now let me ask you, Martirs, about good contractors that are out there. We have a lot of listeners out there. What would you tell our listeners to look for when they're looking for a good contractor, and Like, should they interview them, the licensing, the insurance, the references? What are some key points that you always tell people that they should look for?
One of the key points to find a good contractor will be you have to, as a homeowner, do the researching, and one of them will be find out if your contractor is licensed or have the proper insurance, because out there people are claiming, or a lot of contractors, and as a homeowner, you need to make sure that you're doing business with a legit company that pays their duties, and part of it is to have a proper insurance. Your general liability insurance covers your third party and the building, but you also need to have a workers' compensation for the employees from the company. And if it turns out that your contractor doesn't have it, then your homeowner's insurance can be sued and for compensations if your contractor doesn't have it. So one of the three things to do is to make sure that your contractor is licensed and have the proper general liability as well as workers' compensation insurance. And part of the diligence will be get references and talk to real customers, or even what we normally do on our industry. We use previous projects as a model to bring new clients in and look what we've done, and basically that's how we get our repeat customers.
Perfect. And as far as looking at getting this information, this isn't just calling and saying, oh, do you have insurance? And they say yes. This is actually having them email you or mail you a copy of their insurance or license, and then going and verifying it. Correct.
You not only asked if they have it, but as a homeowner, you need to see it proven, and your contractor should be able to have their agent basically add you to their insurance. You become an insured in case something happens. So your name should be listed on their policy is basically what comes down to, and that's how, it should be done.
Great. Well, by the way, if you're just tuning in, I have with me Martir Hernandez, the owner of the Capital Builders Group, Inc., over in Falls Church, Virginia. I'm your host, Todd LaBorwit, and you're listening to Salem Broadcast Network, WRC 1260 AM. Now, Martir, let's talk about Justin. We're kind of highlighting him today. You told me a little bit how you guys met, but you've worked with his work before as far as like his projects. He's bought properties, you fixed them up, and then he was able to sell them on the market. What's it like to deal with them?
Well, correct. Like I mentioned before, Justin and I met early 2009, somewhere around there. Can't remember right off the top, but then we started out with the first property then, and then we were doing basically anywhere from 5 to 8 properties a year at one point, and it's been great. I mean, Justin has brought up, has a lot of faith into what he does, and has a lot of heart for it, because in a way I kind of picture being similar, because Justin has been to properties where on the weekend, I don't know how he does it, but it's got a lot of heart for what he does. He bring his family to some of the sites, and I thought that was pretty neat. Because at one point we met at a job site, and I was with my wife and kids there too, and it was nice to see that. And we met, just to close out a deal, and basically working hand by hand and putting all this together. It's been great. Done a lot of work with him, like I mentioned before. And Justin is different than your most home flippers, and I don't work with home flippers for the simple fact that nowadays it's easy to find home flippers cutting a lot of corners, and one of them, what we said before, not using licensed contractors, and homeowners find after they move in, there's a lot of odds and ends that were not taken care of, and unlike Justin, he basically covers pretty much the whole thing, because himself has a lot of experience with contractors. Justin is a licensed contractor as well. I don't know if you knew about that, but yeah. He holds a Class A contractor's license in Virginia, and so he knows the trades. there's a lot of home flippers out there that they have the cash and they go in and invest, but they don't know what they're doing, and it is easy to fall through a gap and they don't do it right. So Justin does it right, and I enjoy working with him.
Would you buy a house from Justin?
Absolutely, in a heartbeat.
Okay. And then moving forward, let's talk about with you. You obviously said you don't want to work with those flippers out there, and I don't want to attract our listeners to say, hey, call Martir if you want to flip your house, because I know you're staying away from that. What type of business are you looking for, and how do you give out your estimates?
Well, basically, though, a lot of 85% of our business is repeat clients, word of mouth, and we find our customers through basically, through other friends that we've done work for. And
but when someone comes and they want an estimate from you, from a recommendation, do you go out and give free estimates? Do you charge a fee?
No, we provide free estimates, and we try to be out there,
Perfect. Well, Martir Hernandez, if you want to get in touch with him, please call or text me at 301-467-8444. That number again is 301-467-8444. Let him come out and give you a free estimate and learn more how you choose a contractor.